I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. The guest speaker and I share something in common. We've both been in the same job for over 20 years. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Rabbi Yaakov Beker. He teaches in Maimonides School for many, many years. He's a beloved teacher. He's a person well known throughout the community, someone who has dedicated his life to teaching Torah to children. And it's really a great honor for us to have him here, Rabbi Beker.
Okay, thank you very much, Rabbi Rabinowitz. Before I start, I just wanted to share a brief anecdote. About 15 years ago, there was something in Maimonides School called the Soloveitchik Institute. Anybody remembers that? The head of the institute was Rabbi Dr. J.J. Schachter, famous rabbi, speaker, professor. And at the time, the principal of Maimonides actually asked Rabbi Schachter to speak to my sixth graders before one of the Yomim Tovim. I think it was Shavuos. So a few days before Shavuos, Rabbi Schachter agreed to come and speak to my sixth graders. So we gathered the approximately 40 sixth graders into the shul, and Rabbi Schachter came. And as the principal was introducing Rabbi Schachter, he leans over to me and he says, Rabbi Yaakov, I don't know how you do this. I'm so uncomfortable. So I'm thinking, he in other words, speaking, he was used to speaking to an auditorium full of adults, no problem, polished speaker, but speaking to middle schoolers was not something he was so comfortable with. I want to tell you, I'm the exact opposite. Give me a room full of middle schoolers, I'm good to go. A room full of adults, the little another story, but with Siyata D'Shmaya and the Zechus of Kol HaKala Kodesh Hazeh, I want to share with you tonight, Mirz Hashem, some thoughts and maybe some Divrei Torah, and it's a good story, l'chvod this great simcha. So, Shavua Tov, good luck everybody, Mazel Tov, Rabbi and the Rebbitzin and the entire Kehila for this tremendous accomplishment and simcha of the Siyum of Seder Moed. I want to thank the Rabbi and the Rebbitzin and the Kehila, Beth Israel of Malden. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this beautiful simcha. It feels so good to be celebrating simchas now and siyumim. And may Ribono Shel Olam enable us to celebrate many more simchas and siyumim. Now, although I haven't spent much time in the Malden community, but I think I do have a unique window into the community through teaching your children for so many years. And I was reflecting back on my many Talmidim and Talmidos that I've taught from Malden, and it occurred to me there's a certain wholesomeness, good midos, sincerity in Torah learning, in mitzvos, and just a healthy sense of priorities that you can see in the children from Malden, and that I see in your children. It says in this week's parsha that when Esav wanted to sell his bechorah for the red porridge, the red lentils, which he did. Haliteni na min hadom hadom said, give me some of that red stuff. And then the pasuk says, Al kain kara shemo Edom. Therefore, Esav was called Edom, which means red. So he liked red lentils, and so therefore he was called him and the nation that descended from him, right? That name, that Malchut Edom, it was called Edom because he liked red. Edom means red, which is a very strange thing. If a person likes green peppers, so you're going to call him green, and all of his descendants forever, you can call him green because his Zeta liked green peppers. Like, what's going on? So the Farshim explain that this was actually the Torah branding Esav as a person who was very superficial, did not have his priorities straight. He was willing to sell the Bechorah with all its spiritual gifts that came along with the birthright. he sold it for red porridge, for something red. So the Torah brands him red. We're going to call him red, because this was symptomatic of his essence, a person that did not know his priorities, as opposed to Yaakov Avinu, who had his priorities straight. These are some of the midos that I see in the Talmidim and Talmidos of Malden. So you must be doing something right. Yesher koach, kol hakavod, and Mirz Hashem, continue to inculcate these beautiful midos into your children. Now, I know this is a siyum, but it would be tough for me to stand up here and not reflect about what we're going through as a nation. So I thought I would share a few thoughts about that and then work our way back to discuss the siyum. I know that we're all experiencing, in a very intense way, many feelings and emotions. And one of the positive things I've been feeling is the following. As far as I can remember, I've always been very proud to be a member of the Jewish people, but that feeling has been intensified through the response that the Jewish people, the way they've responded to the events of this past Simchas Torah. It's only strengthened and intensified my feelings of Mi Ka'amcha Yisrael, who is like this beautiful nation of Israel. What do I mean by that? So let's go through some of the reactions that we've had as a nation to what's happened to us. Well, first of all, and besides the military response, which itself has a lot to be proud of. First of all, the success, Baruch Hashem, should continue, but also, the care and humanity that Tzahal is displaying and try to minimize as much as humanly possible any harm to civilians, which is really incredible. Besides that, the rest of us that are not on the front lines in a military way, what has been the reaction? So first of all, one of the reactions has been across the religious spectrum of observance. I think there's been a religious awakening of sorts, even among previously unaffiliated Jews, which leaves us feeling very proud and even amazed at, and I'm not going to share with you the stories. I'm sure you've heard the stories, but I do want to just share one midrash in this week's parsha about a spiritual awakening that a Jew had. So it says in the parsha that when Yaakov came in to get the bracha from Yitzchak, Yitzchak wasn't quite sure, is this Yaakov, is it Esav? It says in the pasuk, Vayarach es reach begadav. And he felt him, Yitzchak felt Yaakov, and then he kissed him, and when he got close to him, he smelled the fragrance of his begadav, of his garments. I don't know if he just came back from the dry cleaner or what that means. His garments smell good. The Mefarshim ask a question. What do you mean? He was wearing skins of goats, hairy skins of goats. They don't have a good fragrance. So what's going on? And what did he smell in the begadim? So the Midrash takes the word begadav, garments, as the hint, midrashically speaking, hinting to bogdav, the renegades, those Jews that have fallen away from Yiddishkeit. Yitzchak detected in Yaakov, in Yaakov's descendants, that even those who have fallen away from Yiddishkeit are never really that far away. Not really that far away. And when he detected that in Yaakov Avinu, that made Yitzchak want to give Yaakov the brachos. And the Midrash quotes a story, an amazing story, about a Jew named Yosef Meshisa. Yosef Meshisa, who had unfortunately fallen away from Yiddishkeit. And when the Romans came into the Beis HaMikdash, even they did, by Yeshem, the second Beis HaMikdash, even the Romans did not have the chutzpah to go into the Beis HaMikdash. They wanted a Jew to first go in and desecrate it, and then they would allow. Then they would have the guts to go in and afterwards. But they would not go in until a Jew went. So they found this Jew, Yosef Meshisa, and they told him, "We want you to go in, and as an incentive, right, you can take anything you want from the Beis HaMikdash and desecrate it and bring it out, and you can have it, and then we're going to go in." So Yosef said, "Sure, I'll go in. Sounds like a good deal." Goes into the Beis HaMikdash. The Midrash says that he saw the menorah, the beautiful menorah, golden menorah. And he said, "Wow, I really want that menorah." So Yosef takes the menorah and he marches out of the Beis HaMikdash, no problem. When the Romans see the menorah, in Yosef Meshis's arms, they said, one second, that's not what we meant. That menorah is so beautiful, so exquisite. That's for the emperors, for the Romans. That's not for you. Go back in and take something else. So Yosef says, I can't go back in. I can't do it. What do you mean? You just went in. Go in again and get something else. I can't. Why not? Why can't you go in again? So Yosef said, I angered Hashem. It's not enough I angered Hashem once. I should anger Hashem again. I'm not going in. I'm not going to desecrate the Beis Hamikdash. I'm not going to steal the Kalim. And in the end, they said, no, you must go in. We're going to kill you. Kill me. I'm not going back into the Beis Hamikdash. And he died al Kiddush Hashem. This Jew that was willing to go in and desecrate and steal the menorah refused to go back in. So the Mefarshim ask, the Bali Musar, the Mefarshim ask, what do you mean? 5 minutes earlier, he went in. What happened? So they say that once you have been in the Beis Hamikdash, it had such a powerful impact on Yosef, even this person Yosef, such a powerful impact on him that he could not bring himself. He thought he did tshuva, and he could not bring himself to go back in, and even gave up his life for Hashem. So we see that a Jew is never really so far away. As soon as he's jolted back into his spiritual senses, he comes back to Hashem. And this is what we've seen, Baruch Hashem, so many times of what we're going through right now. But there's more. Besides the spiritual awakening that people have gone through, the world feels, is to me, I'm sure to you too, much less stable place. Even before the events of Simchas Torah. Never mind after that. So what is the Jew's instinctive reaction to an unstable world? What do we do? Well, we instinctively engage in those activities that provide stability, world stabilizing activities. What are the world stabilizing activities? So one peek in Pirkei Avos, the very second Mishnah, Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed. The world stands stable on three things. Al Torah, Al Avoda, Yal Akamilas Chasadim, right? So instinctively, the Jewish people try to stabilize the world, and we've been mechazik ourselves, we've strengthened ourselves in these three pillars, in these three world stabilizing pillars. Torah study, Avoda, service of Hashem, davening, mainly today it's davening, and Gemilas Chasadim, acts of chesed. So let me briefly go through each of these three pillars that Jewish people have been strengthening themselves in at this time. And we'll skip Torah for the time being and come back to it. Let's start with Avoda. Avoda. Service of Hashem, divine service, mainly referring to davening. So here's a question that I had on Parshas Vayera, a couple of weeks ago, Parshas Vayera, about davening. So Avraham Avinu hears, Hashem tells Avraham Avinu, we're going to destroy Sodom. And famously, Avraham starts, no, Hashem, I want you to save Sodom. He launches into a lengthy and intense tefillah to try to save Sodom. I don't think any mortal ever talked to Hashem that way. Hashem, Hashofet kol haaretz lo yaseh mishpat, right? Will the judge of the entire universe not do justice? How could that be? To kill a tzaddik with a rasha? Hashem, how can you do that? And in negotiating with Hashem, bargaining with Hashem. 10 psukim, Avraham Avinu's tefillah. Was he successful? Was he? No. Sorry. Sodom was destroyed, despite Avraham Avinu's best efforts to save it. But just as it's being destroyed, who gets saved? Lot. Lot's coming out of Sodom. The Malach says, go flee to the mountains. Lot says, I can't go to the mountains. That's not a good place for me. I can't go to the mountains. But there's a small village called Soar. Small village. Let me go to Soar, and usechi nafshi, I will be saved in Soar. 2 psukim. Doesn't seem such an intense tefillah. 2 psukim. Let me just save Soar, and I'll survive in Soar. What does the Malach say? You got it. Okay. We'll save Soar. We won't destroy Soar. We were supposed to destroy Soar. Okay, you can have Soar. What's going on here? Avraham Avinu, Tzaddik, Avraham Avinu, 10 psukim of intense tefillah? No, nothing. Lot, not the biggest tzaddik. 2 psukim. Okay, you can have tzor. It bothered me for a long time. A couple years ago, I heard in the name of Reb Noach Weinberg, Zichron Levracha. Reb Noach Weinberg said there was one difference in Lot's tefillah. The difference in Lot's tefillah was, Usechi nafshi, and I will survive. Lot felt that this is an existential threat to his life. If you don't save Tzoar, I'm finished. Please save Tzoar usechi nafshi, so that I can survive. I won't be killed. That milah, that aspect of tefillah, was that in Avraham Avinu's tefillah? No. Avraham Avinu wasn't in Sodom. He wasn't threatened personally, right? If Sodom would be destroyed. But when a person davens with usechi nafshi, so that I can survive, that brings a whole new madrega, a whole new level of davening and intensity to the tefillot, to a person's davening. So I'm just thinking, in what we're going through now, unfortunately, we don't live in Israel. We're not near Gaza. We're not anywhere in Israel. And we're living here. And a person could think, let's daven for them. But that will not be as effective as thinking, which is not such a jump, that we have to daven usechi nafshi. This is indeed an existential threat to all of us, to the Jewish people as a whole, and we have to keep that in mind. We have to daven with usechi nafshi so that we can survive. That's a thought about the pillar of avoda, the world-stabilizing force of davening. Now let's get to chesed, gemilos chesadim. Again, the outpouring of chesed that we have seen from the Jewish people is just astounding and inspiring. Mika Amchi Yisrael. But I'm not going to, I'm sure you know all the stories that I know, and I'm not going to repeat all those stories, but I just want to add one point that I think is important. And that is, there's all these huge projects and grandiose gemilos chasadim that's going on, which are amazing and necessary, of course. But there's also the smaller day-to-day chasadim that we have to not forget about. We're all going about in a daze because of all these events. And I know, at least myself, I feel like I'm going around in a daze. And sometimes a good word from somebody just is so uplifting and so changing. My whole day is changed because somebody said something nice to me. And I try to do that for other people as well. And you need to keep that in mind too, because we're all going through this together. Just to share a story that happened to me as a teacher that I really want to share with you. And I think my favorite story in I'm on these 22 years, altogether 27 years of teaching, 26 years of teaching. I think this is my favorite story, so I just want to share it with you. I know exactly when it happened. It was the first anniversary of 9/11. Okay, so it's 9/11, 2002. I was in my classroom, and it was recess. And some of my 6th grade girls came in, running into my room and said, Rabbi Beker, there's a girl crying in the playground. I said, what happened? Did she get hurt? Should I run out? No, she's not hurt. She's just very sad. Why is she sad? What's wrong? Well, her birthday is on 9/11. This was 9/11, 2002. Her birthday was 9/11, and she's very sad because her birthday was transformed into such a sad day. I see. Okay. Call her in. I want to speak to her. Now, who else's birthday is on 9/11? Mine. So you know what? I think I'm in a unique position to help this girl that maybe nobody else in the building could do. So they run and get the girl, and she comes in. I ask everybody else to leave. I ask her to sit down. You can see her eyes are tearing. Just thinking, what am I going to say? How am I going to do this? This is not a script. You can't rehearse this. You can't write notes. It just happens on the spot, and that's what a lot of teaching is all about. So she was there, right in front of me. I decided, you know what? I took out my wallet. I took out my driver's license, and I said, I gave it to the girl. I said, you know what this is? She looks at it. Hey, Beker, that's your driver's license. I said, yeah, look at it. So she looks at it. Hopefully she didn't see the year. But she notices 9/11. She sees 9/11. She says, Rabbi Beker, your birthday is also on 9/11? I said, yes. My birthday's on 9/11. It's okay. It's still a happy day for us. What happened is not our fault. It's still our birthday is still a time that we can be happy. She said, Rabbi Beker, I'm making a website for people whose birthdays are on 9/11. Can I put you on my website? I said, yes, put me on your website. She walked out a different person. And the next day, she was in 5th grade. She wasn't in my class. She was in 5th grade. The next day, the 5th grade teacher got a note from the mother. And the note said, I don't know what you told our daughter, but she came home a different person. So these are, I think, my favorite moment of teaching. And every year on 9/11, we'd make a point to, as that girl got older and older, until she graduated, we'd make a point of touching base every 9/11 and wishing each other a happy birthday. But it made me feel how much a good word can really help somebody. And I think we need to not lose sight of these little chesed that we do for each other every day. Okay, so that's chesed. And now we come to the third pillar, the pillar that relates most closely to our Siyum, which is the pillar of Torah study. And to bring out a point about Torah study, I want to quote another Dvar Torah, which is in this coming week's parsha, Parshas Vayetze. I'm sorry, Vayishlach, I think, actually, Vayishlach. Anyway, I think it's Vayishlach. The Sarah Shel Esav. Yeah, Vayishlach. Okay, so Yaakov Avinu encounters an Ish, but it's actually, we know it's the Malach, the Sarah Shel Esav, who tries to come in and kill Yaakov, destroy him. And he has this whole battle, epic battle between Yaakov and the guardian angel of Esav. So Rabbi Chanan Wasserman, Zichron Livracha, asked the following question. He said, why, of all the three Avos, why is it that a Malach only came to fight with Yaakov Avinu? Why is it that and what didn't have to be the Sarah Shel Esav, maybe it could be a different Malach. If you're trying to destroy the Jewish people, well, you got three Avos. You destroy any one of them, you've destroyed the Jewish people, right? Without Avram, without Yitzchak and Yaakov, right? So why did no Malach come and fight with Avraham Avinu, try to destroy Avraham Avinu? Why did no Malach come and try to destroy Yitzchak Avinu? Nothing. Yaakov Avinu, already the forces of evil want to come and destroy him. Why? So he answered, Rabbi Chanan Wasserman answered the following. We know that the Avos correspond to these three pillars, right? Let's remember the three pillars, right? Torah, Avodah, Gemilas, Chasadim. Which of those three pillars was represented by Avraham Avinu? Chesed, right? Gemilas, Chasadim. Which of those three pillars represented by Yitzchak Avinu? Avodah, right? Divine service. You even actually was willing to become a korban, right, for Hashem. So here's the thing. Chesed, extremely important, but Chesed does not ensure the continuity of the Jewish people, right? All the Chesed that's done, all the Jewish philanthropy, all the hospitals and universities and other institutions that were donated by Jews, very, very nice, but they do not ensure that Jewish people will continue. And as we see, some of these people, their children did not continue in the path of Yiddishkeit. And avodah, davening, very, very important, of course. But even that does not ensure our continuity, right? A very brief look at the American Jewish history shows that Jews that built this beautiful shul here, beautiful. I'm saying a beautiful shul alone cannot ensure Jewish continuity, right? I mean, we know, looking at American Jewish history, how the immigrants came and built beautiful shuls, but very often, unfortunately, did not continue. The Yiddishkeit did not continue to the next generation. So therefore, the Malach said, Avram Avinu, let him be with his chesed. Fine, that doesn't bother us. Let him do chesed. Yitzchak Avinu, avoda, let it be. But Yaakov Avinu represented what? Torah. Yaakov ish tam, yoshev, ohalim. Ohalo shel Shem, ohalo shel Ever. Yaakov was the Av, was our forefather who represented Torah. He was a Torah scholar. And that, more than anything else, ensures Jewish continuity. The Jewish people will continue, right? The yeshivas, the Jewish day schools, that we can teach the next generation Torah, that is what ensures our continuity, and that's what Yaakov represented, and that was a threat to the forces of evil. The Jewish people can continue through the pillar of Torah. So therefore, Yaakov Avinu was the Av that the Malach of evil wanted to try to destroy. And that's this Siyum. This Siyum is the antidote. This Siyum, it represents Torah learning of your community, represents having our priorities straight, people coming early in the morning to daven. Before they start their day, they learn Torah. At the beginning of the day is so harried, but these people are coming before they go to work, whatever they do in their daily activities, they're learning Mishnayos on a consistent basis. Day after day after day. If I finished Shas Mishnayos, now we finished Zerayim and Seder Moed. It's really the best, I think, the best reaction that we could have to ensure our continuity and that our enemies are not successful. Just want to conclude with two brachos, one for the Siyum and one for all of Klal Yisrael. Shem Siyamtem Seder Moed. Just like you finished Seder Moed, Kain Taschilu, Sfarim, Mesechtos, Sedarim, Acherim, so you should begin other Sfarim and Mesechtos and Sedarim, Lilmod Lamed, Lishmor Belasos, and to pass this on to the next generation of your families and of the community. And we know it's Motzi Shabbos. There's a minhag in the Zemiros of Motzi Shabbos. We mentioned Eliyahu HaNavi. The Gemara says Eliyahu HaNavi will not come on Erev Shabbos, maybe not even on Shabbos. So Motzi Shabbos is the time that we want to renew our call for Eliyahu HaNavi, Harachman, Yishlach Lanu es Eliyahu HaNavi Zechor Latov, V'vaser Lanu Besoros Tovos Yeshuos V'nechamos. Thank you.